I mean, I'm making an entire fucking video about why I'm not making videos. If that isn't overthinking, I don't know what is. I know what I want, but I'm not doing it, and I'm not totally sure why. I think I know what I want, at least. I think I do. I want to create the type of content that I like to consume when I go on the internet. Maybe it's a surprise to some of y'all, but I myself don't consume OnlyFans content. It's not the platform that I choose to go on in my own time. I work on there, and I do enjoy the work that I do there. But again, it's not the content that I enjoy consuming. And so I'd like to create the content, the type of content that I actually enjoy. And for me, those are Twitch live streams, which I already do. But above and beyond that is YouTube content. I love watching YouTube. I watch a variety of types of YouTube videos. I like watching Zelda lore, video game lore stuff. I like motivational videos. I like vlogs. I like get ready with me's. The most amount of time I think I spend actually enjoying myself on the internet these days is on YouTube. With respect to Instagram, I feel like I spend time on there compulsively. I can't really think of anything I actually like about Instagram other than keeping up with my friends. I like seeing my friends' stories. I love it when I get like a close friends update or someone posts like a chatty sort of like, 70 like click through like life update or whatever. I like that. I like using social media to keep in contact with people and actually see like what they themselves are up to. But the platform has just been becoming like less and less centered around that at this point. And then TikTok, I've actually mostly just stopped using it. It used to be fun. And I mean, like, I know the algorithm is a big part of like what makes that platform enjoyable. And maybe my For You is just like fucked at this point. I'm finding short form content, especially like, I'm finding short form video to just be more and more overwhelming feeling, overstimulating. Since taking time away from my phone, which has been great, very privileged to be able to have stepped away from my devices for a little bit there. Yeah, coming back to social media, particularly Instagram and TikTok, I'm really feeling the mental effects of using these apps. I don't know if content is just like changing so dramatically over time that it's just becoming more and more obvious or more impactful or whatever, but I was on a road trip recently and we were listening to the radio. And radio ads are fucking unhinged. Like, the voices that people use to try to like sell you stuff on the radio, like, come to our Toyota thought of it. Like, it's so overwhelming that like you want to just turn the volume down. I feel the same way about short form content most of the time on Instagram and on TikTok. It's meant to be punchy in the first millisecond so that people will watch it, right? And it just feels like it's like bzz after bzz after bzz, and I don't like it. I think there may have been a time, if I was like used to listening to the radio, that the radio ads felt like normal or tolerable. Maybe it's the same thing happening with the social media. But long story short, I don't really like it that much anymore, save for like a few small pieces of it. And so I want to be a content creator that creates content that I like. What kind of content do I really like? I like long form content. I like content that allows me to either learn something or feel some sort of like a connection to the creator themselves. Not necessarily totally parasocial, like I don't need to know every detail of your life, but I like to get to know a personality. I like to feel comforted when I'm spending time on the internet, and finding a creator with like a nice voice, things that I can generally come to expect for them, like, long chatty videos or whatever. I like that. I personally really like that. And then with live streaming, it's sort of the same way. Like I'm not much of like a gameplay girly. Like, sure, like speed running is impressive and like, whatever. And I'll watch people play games that like I really like, aka The Legend of Zelda. But if I'm gonna watch a streamer, I have to like them, I really have to get a feel for them as a person. And then I want that like calming, cozy sort of atmosphere. And so with respect to Twitch, I'm already doing that. I have been, you know, a little less consistent lately because it's been summer and I, like I said, have been touching grass. But I feel like I am loving my time on Twitch and I'm being the type of live streamer that I love to be. I'm doing it. It's also not like paying the bills. And I've been saying for the last few years that that is okay, you know, that Twitch has been, you know, very much grounded in hobby territory for me because I have another job that pays my bills. So I haven't had to really structure my like content style on Twitch in ways that are like more conducive to making an income, you know, like because I was a cam girl for 7 years. When I started up on Twitch, the last thing I wanted to do was turn Twitch into what I started to hate about being a cam girl, which was sort of like I call it like being a tip monkey or like dance monkey dance, you know, where like I have a big list of things that like I advertise really hard and like, oh, if you donate this much, then like I'll do this, you know, like I'll stand up and do a fucking dance for like, there's nothing wrong with that. And it can be and is super fun for a streamer and for the community. But I did it for so long that I knew that that's what burnt me out in my last like streaming job. So I didn't want to do it like that again. And it's been vibey. Like I've been having a great time. I've built a really great community. And by and large, like, yeah, I'm absolutely loving Twitch. Second piece, however, YouTube. I want to make YouTube content and I have a ton of ideas. I want to make vlogs. And so I have like shit tons of vlog footage from a variety of trips that I've done over the last year. I want to post, you know, informational content. I want to share my ideas with respect to like health and fucking wellness or, you know, industry stuff within, you know, the not safe for work industry. I'd love to like, I have a multitude, a plethora. I have a treasure trove of ideas up in my brain. But there's some sort of blockage that I'm experiencing, and I'm not totally sure why that is. There's something in myself, I guess, that is preventing me from actually taking the plunge, actually doing the work. And I'm trying to figure out why that is. Am I afraid of failure? I'm not sure. I don't really know what like failure would look like in this regard. Like if I'm starting with YouTube stuff similarly to like how I'm doing Twitch, then the terms are like, you can't really fail at it. If the thing to do is just to do, you know, just to post, and posting is like free, then what's stopping me? I think my own perfectionism probably is playing a big role here. You know, I want to do things in such a particular way. I want things to look to some standard that I have set in my mind. I'm being so rigid with that I'm actually not producing anything at all. I think overthinking is definitely going into this issue as well. I mean, I'm making an entire fucking video about why I'm not making videos. If that isn't overthinking, I don't know what it is. But even now, like as I'm speaking, I'm thinking like, okay, that clip will probably be the intro. I'll clip this out and all, but like I'm jumping all over the map. Maybe I'm not allowing myself in the moment to create like in a present way because I'm thinking about the next steps all at the same time. Because if I set the camera up and it's time to have a chat, time to talk, you know, time to create, you know, the video, this should be dedicated to that. I should be able to really commit myself, I think, to focusing on the first step first, which would be this. Talking to the camera, putting on some makeup, not thinking about all the things that comes next. Because what comes next will come next, you know, I'll have to edit. And I find myself, when I'm editing, thinking too hard about creating a thumbnail, captioning it. As I'm editing, I'm thinking, oh shit, like how will I make this video look like other videos so that I have a cohesive aesthetic so that I can... The point is to do, not to do perfectly. What the fuck is perfect anyway? The looming thing over my head with this as well is income. I also know how I want to make money. I want to be community supported. I think the best way for me to approach this is to set up a Patreon. Now, for example, I was watching this like model kit, or not model kit, this miniatures artist put together Howl's Moving Castle out of junk. I don't know if you've seen that video. I've watched it 5 times. I'm not joking. And at the end of the video, it's this huge long list of like all the Patreon supporters. And I like that. I like being community generated. I like generating an income from people that, you know, are able to and want to support, rather than selling things or doing like brand endorsements. It's just not my personal style. I'm not shitting on it. Don't think there's anything wrong necessarily with going that route, but I don't want to sell you things to make a percentage off of a sale. I want to provide an experience, and then if you enjoy that experience, I want to keep the whole $5, you know? And you know, with selling you stuff or doing brand endorsements, I don't get to do that. So what needs to happen? I need to create the Patreon. In order to create the Patreon, I need to bring my ID up to my office, but there's something on it that's like, you need to like resubmit your ID or whatever. And every time I've seen that screen, I don't have my ID on me. And then I don't want to go downstairs to get my wallet. And so I simply don't do it. And it's been months of me just not taking the next step because I don't have my ID in hand. So I'm going to grab my ID, go upstairs, finalize the Patreon, and then begin working on building up the platform itself before taking people on as subscribers, before advertising it, so that there is at least a base of content there that I can feel makes the donation price worth it. I've done too many times throughout my internet career, too many times throughout my own learning process of how to be this person that I am. I have sold my own dreams rather than an actual product or experience. I get big ideas, and then sometimes, aka way too often, I bite off more than I can chew, and I underdeliver. I overpromise and underdeliver. And I don't want to do that. Ooh, maybe I think we've hit a nerve. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm talking to a camera. Maybe I'm not afraid of failure per se, but I'm afraid to let people down. I'm afraid to start something and then run into issue and not be able to continue it in a way that would make people feel like I'm worth their time. So maybe I'm actually afraid of trying and not being good enough. That's a shocker. I've definitely never felt that feeling ever one time in my life. So can I draw from other experiences in order to put this to bed? Over the course of 11 years, I have run into hiccups. I've run into life. As a cam girl, there were times where I, would try to pull something off, or I would promise something big, and life would happen, and I would fall short of that. Did people abandon me entirely? Did people forget about me? Did people tell me that I was a waste of their time? No. I have friends that I made during my webcam days that are friends of mine to this day. And they're people that I have disappointed. They're people that I have promised things to and underdelivered. And they're people that recognize that I am a human being that makes mistakes. So I think that fear is unfounded. And then if I shift over to, my second kind of primary internet career, which is OnlyFans, I have definitely taken time off. And even with a monthly subscription fee, I haven't received backlash when I've had to take time off. If anything, when I am transparent about why I've been away, or if I give people a heads up, people are very understanding, very understanding. I have people tell me all the time, take care of what you need, do what you have to do for yourself first. And people that still say, even if your content is less frequent than you would like it to be, I'm still very happy. I'm still here because I'm still happy. And then I can say the same thing about Twitch, in that people are having a good time with me. They like it when I'm around. They do miss me when I'm gone. But if I have to leave for a little bit, if I'm not that consistent, the people I care about, the people I wouldn't want to disappoint, the people I'm afraid of disappointing, have yet to be disappointed in me. So the underlying feeling here that if I start doing something I really want to do, which is YouTube, and I aim to fund by doing something like Patreon, If that fear is that I am starting something only to run out of steam and fail, and that the result of that will be people leaving me or being mad at me or feeling like I've let them down, that's not actually grounded in any reality. It's a possibility, but it's unlikely. It's an unlikely outcome. I think the more likely outcome is that I could make videos. They wouldn't have to be perfect. They could just be fun. They could be videos that I enjoy and I would rewatch, that I would share with my friends and family, that I mean, I have travel vlogs that I made almost a decade ago that I will put on in my own time and rewatch them because I like the memories. This is content. Not only do I like consuming content like this from other people, but I'm watching my own content. I want to make that kind of content. That makes me happiest, right? I can do that. And the way that I will do that, the only way that this will happen, is if I drop some of my unrealistically high standards, if I focus on doing things for the sake of doing things rather than doing things to do things perfectly, and if I keep myself grounded and do my best to stay present in each step without mentally leaping ahead of myself. Yeah, that makes sense.